tonight. We have Ms. Palmerhouse, she's our assistant principal, and Mr. Stein, he is our dean of students. So
good evening, everyone.
It's great to see you guys today. We've been planning this for a long time. I'll be honest with you, if it was up to us, we would have had this parent meeting 2 months ago because we're so excited to get the year started. But we had to wait because we knew you're on vacation and everything else. So we're happy to get this thing rolling. Moving forward, if you're new to our school, you're 6th grade parents, we try to have parent meetings. We used to do them on a monthly basis. We love to get in front of the parents. You guys are a huge part of what we do in the school. So we're going to try to keep that going as we move into the new year. We might not do it monthly, and we'll also see if we can do that virtual piece as well, because I know it's a lot more convenient for everybody. Tonight we're going to record this. We didn't do it virtual, we weren't able to do it tonight, but we're going to record it. So if you miss anything, we're going to post it onto our website, so you'll be able to go back and review that at another time. Our agenda, real quick, we have it up on the board. We're going to go over this stuff. Probably take us about, I don't know, half hour, 40 minutes to go through this stuff. And then the thought is, when we're all done, we'll separate you guys by grades. And 6th grade stays here with me because it's air conditioned, and I got the first call on that. 7th and 8th grade, sorry, you're going to the gym, which is not air conditioned. So 7th grade, you go with Ms. Palmerhouse, and 8th grade parents, you're going to go with Mr. Stein. We'll have you cross. We're doing a lot of work in the building right now. So if you've asked about a tour, we kind of had to put a stop on tours right now because we're doing all kinds of painting, waxing the floors, getting the classrooms ready. So the halls are a bit of a mess right now. The cafeteria is being redone, so we've kind of paused our tours, but next week Mr. Stein will start tours again. So we're excited to get that going. So first on our agenda, I want to talk about some staff updates. Yeah, we're busy this summer with new staff. I have to say, if you've been watching the news like I have, there's a huge teacher shortage out there right now. Texas, I don't know if you saw that, they went to a 4-day work week for their teachers because it's so hard to fill those roles. The reason is, they say teachers work 60 hours a week, which they probably do. So they're going to go 4 work days, and then Friday is a day of planning for teachers. I think it was Los Angeles, 10,000 shortages in their district. That includes bus drivers and paraprofessionals. So we're pretty lucky here. We had some openings, and we had about 50 applicants for these positions, and we had some really, really good ones. We're really excited for you guys to meet our new staff. So I just want to go over them real quick. In House 1, we have a new math teacher. Her name is Emily Gay. She'll be teaching 7th and 8th grade in House 1. We also have in House 1 Todd Bickstrom. Just a little bit about Todd. He is a musical theater guy, so he's ELA/drama. So those of you who have been asking about drama, we finally got someone here. He actually puts on productions throughout Worcester. He's performed himself. He just told me he was in whatever ABBA, that musical. He actually sang in that in his tights. So we're excited to have him on board. Matthew Hay is our social studies teacher in House 1. And then we still have, if you don't know, Steve Prario started halfway through the year with us in science. Why I bring that up is because we hired a lot of male teachers. And we didn't do that on purpose, we just tried to get the best candidate. It just worked out where we have quite a few male teachers in middle school, which, as you know, is pretty rare. I used to teach elementary and middle school, and when I was teaching, it was usually me, a custodian, and a gym teacher were the only guys in the building. So we're happy to have some positive male influences in the building. Over in House 2, James Moranis teaching 6th and 7th grade. Miss Hammond moved up to 7A, so she's still here. She's moved up to 7A. And Mr. Moranis is going to be teaching 6th and 7th. And then over in House 3, we have another ELA teacher, Mike Perella. He'll be teaching 7th and 8th grade. Miss Bethel is still there. She's teaching 6th and 7th.
Mr. Dior, Mr. Burrell is actually here.
He is? Mr. Pro, if you can stand up, I'm glad I didn't say anything bad about you. So this is Mr. Perella, everybody. Thank you for coming. Mr. Perella, since he's here, I'll go ahead and tell you, he was our first hire. I told you we had about 50 applicants. And it's funny that each time we met with the candidates, we reminded, Mike didn't even walk out of the room, and we said we need to grab him. And just to show you how cool and calm he is, he came here to teach a lesson, a demonstration lesson. And Miss McKinstry happened to be in the building, our superintendent, and so was Miss Healy, our director of curriculum. And I grabbed him and said, hey, I got a guy teaching us, you want to come and see him? I don't think Mike's getting to be the invitation that he is superintendent in the building, so great job, it's a great lesson, we're excited to have him. General music, we got another good one. Lauren Hammer came to us, she was at Hopedale, and she was there for about 3 or 4 years. We got her to come over and work for us. She's going to be teaching one of the music classes along with Joe Gogan, and she will also be in Forest, which we're excited. So if any of your students are interested in Forest, Miss Hammer is a good one. She's got all kinds of cool stuff planned. I met with her for about an hour and a half, 2 days ago, just to go over some of the stuff she's going to do. So really excited to have Miss Hammer on board. Then some changes. Our EOA, so Miss Brown was in house 1. She was EOA teacher 6 and 7. She moved to what we call her title position, so she's still with us. She's going to be providing support for students throughout the building in EOA. Miss Berkman, who was a house 2, 7, and 8th grade teacher, moved to work with those English language learners, so she's still with us, but moved into that role. Miss Townley, who was a house 2 special educator, moved into the Connects room, so she'll be there. Miss Bonfilia is going to be our Connects IA. And then Jody Bondak and Colby Grosh, who were IAs with us last year, they moved into the BT role, behavior tech role for us. And then Mrs. Malone moved back down. She's going to be teaching 6th and 7th grade, still in house 1. Miss Provost did move. She went from house 1 over to house 2, 7 and 8 social studies. And Mr. Silvestri rounded up our science teachers for us, so he has moved into science. He was here 5 years ago as a science teacher for us, and then he came back, was in the title over math, and now he's back in the science. So we're happy to say that right now all our content classes are filled, or our teachers are filled, but I'll keep you updated on the new hires and anything that goes. So I don't want to talk too much, so I'm going to turn this over to Ms. Palmerhouse. Scheduling, if you have problems with schedules, Ms. Palmerhouse, still call me. But Ms. Palmerhouse and Ms. Signoretti, I mean, when I say they work day and night, I'm not kidding you, they work day and night on it. We made some changes to the schedule. We're going to get into more about why we need those changes in a little bit. But I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Palmerhouse to tell you a little bit about the schedule.
Okay, we made just a few tweaks to the schedule. As he talks about that working day and night, my husband, when he was home, he knows, he said, if you've got that scheduling scowl on, do not talk to me. That's what he calls it, my scheduling scowl, when I'm like focused in on my spreadsheets. So, the only thing that has changed much is we have increased our win time to 45 minutes. For the 6th graders, our win is what I need now. That's where the students will go into various classrooms for extra support as to what they need. We're going to focus on, Superior will talk a little bit more coming up, but we're going to focus on reading and writing focus throughout WIN. Our class periods are all 65 minutes long with 25-minute lunches, and they go to lunch by grade. So all 3 houses are together, so they're in lunch with their entire grade. And then they're going to end the day with a 25-minute advisory. An advisory working on a lot of social and emotional issues that is going to be the same place as their home room. So it's really nice for them to have their home base to start the day and their home base to end the day. So those are the only, just a few small tweaks into the schedule. Classes are a little bit shorter than last year because we added into that advisory and we added a little more time to it. Again, it was done to optimize student learning and invest in students.
Yeah, I just want to talk quickly about that WIN. So this year our focus on WIN is going to be reading and writing. And I mean, it's no secret, schools across the country, not just here, struggle with reading and writing. And so we saw that as a huge need in our building. Not to say we're not going to still do our math needs, but we knew that if we focus on it, educators out there know, I don't know, there's thousands of studies will show you, if you can improve your reading and writing scores, your grades will go up in all content levels, that includes math. So this year we're going to make a strong push, and what happened in the past is we saw in our schools, many schools did, is there wasn't really a focus. So I would go into Ms. Palmerhouse's classroom, and I was expected to write a certain way, and then I would go to Mr. Stein's classroom, and I was expected to write a different way, and so it wasn't helping our kids. So now probably, no. Middle school is the most challenging group of kids to work with. That's no secret either. So you got to be either a little crazy or love to work with these kids. I think we're a little bit of both up here. Mostly we love the kids. But it is the most challenging, but it's by far, and they'll tell you the same thing, it's the most rewarding too. We love our kids here. So I'm lucky I have 3 kids at home and I have 500 kids in this building. So the reason we put that advisory in at the end of the day is now the kids will go back to their homeroom teacher. That's going to be a very, very strong focus on the social, emotional needs of all our kids. So they'll go back, make those connections with their homeroom teacher, and really focus on the social, emotional needs that our kids need to focus on. That'll also give them time to do that executive functioning. You know, we'll learn about how to keep a schedule, how to manage their homework, how to see what grades, where the grades are. All those things are going to be done during the advisory. The last 25 minutes of the day. For you 6th grade parents that are here, one thing that caused a lot of angst for our kids last year when they came to the building is I might have a gym with Miss Nelson over here, but my homeroom was with Miss Mercier way up on the 3rd floor. So at the end of the day, I had to get from gym and you got to get upstairs to get to my locker and then get down to the buses. And so even though we gave kids plenty of time to do that, they're still nervous about it. We eliminated that now, so you see that there's lucky that now you can be in your homerooms, you be by your lockers, all your stuff's right there at dismissal, just walk out there and your stuff will follow you. Really easy. So we're excited about the change that we made. One thing you'll learn about us here, this team, is you don't just do things because it's always been done that way for the last 10 years. We're always trying to find a better way to do something. And so that's what we do. We talk about that growth mindset all the time. I know it's a buzzword, people throw it around all the time. But we truly do want our students to have a growth mindset, especially now. As you know, we have to get these kids ready for this crazy unknown future, and that's what we're going to do here in the middle school. Yes, sir.
I'd like to add to that advisory period, right? We'll go over executive functioning, social emotional, but it's also an added point. We're really making a huge push this year with our PBIS, Positive Behavior Incentive System, and that's going to be another time that when kids are doing the right things and rewarded, that'll be another time and another part of the day. We pull kids out, social in the calf, play some basketball, fun Friday activities, things of that nature. So that's another part where we use their day, that time to make sure everybody's having a good experience. Good to go, boss?
So some things you'll notice, I had a couple people reach out to me, a couple of families, asking about lunches. Kids still eat by grade level, so you know that we're in houses. But if you're a 6th, 7th, or 8th grader, you eat with your class. You eat with your grade level. So 7th grade all eats together, 8th grade all eats together, 6th grade. So 6th graders, you don't have to worry. If your friends are in house 3 and you're in house 1, you will have the time to meet with those kids. You'll be able to sit together during lunch. This year we also switched up again because we heard and we wanted to try to do something better. We wanted more opportunities for the kids to get together besides lunch. So we've also made grade level RAs. Last year it was house specific. This year it's by grade. So that means that if you're a 6th grader, you can eat with your friends during lunch, and then you'll have an opportunity, you may be in other students' classes for your related arts as well. It's not always going to happen, but we have 8 RAs, so there's a chance that you'll be also mixed with other kids during the related arts as well. The veteran parents that are here, aren't really here, but some kids did move houses. 6th grade parents, the reason we did this, the house model, is to really build those connections with the teachers, with the families, with the students. However, as we know, sometimes it's not a good fit. And if it's not a good fit, for whatever reason, we try to make sure that we meet the needs of our kids. So some of you 7th and 8th grade parents may see that you're in a different house. And that was because we were trying to make sure that it's a better fit for the students. Also, it's based on the service needs of the kids. You know, it might be special services, special education services, even the needs of your IEP. So there was a few students that changed, not a whole lot, but I just wanted to point that out in case there was any questions about that. And by the way, and then I know I'm going kind of fast, but when we break up into groups, we will give you time for questions and answers. So I want you to get that. So we thought it was important to talk about our school-wide expectations here. Couple things to is we don't allow hats and hoodies in our building, or not hoodies, but the hoods up. So when you come in the building, you know, we ask that you take your hood down and also that you remove your caps. And the reason for that is a big safety issue. We have cameras everywhere in our building. And if you saw our cameras, you would see it's very hard. It was really hard during COVID when we wore masks. But if you have a hood and a mask, or even if you have a hood and a hat, it's very hard to tell who that student is, or if it's an adult that shouldn't be in our building. So for safety reasons, we remove hats and hoods. Cell phones is a big one for us. So, you know, not just talk about it, because you see what's happening now, unfortunately, in schools and safety and things that have been happening. So we do not want to take phones out of these hands. God forbid there's an emergency. However, cell phones are a huge problem in the classroom. Huge. Huge. Holyoke schools, I have some friends in Holyoke, they eliminated cell phones in the building. They put them in the lockers. They don't get them out to the end of the day. And their scores went up. They said it made a huge difference both for behaviors and also for academics. We don't want to go to that extreme, but all cell phones, when you walk into a classroom, and we're really going to be strict on this, I just want to let all the families know, when you come in, the high school is the same. We did this together with the high school. So when you come into a classroom, we have cell motels. They're in every classroom. We got them last year. All thank you. Ben Lloyd is showing you the cell motel. All the students' cell phones go in there. They stay in there until they leave the classroom. Now, that means that you can't keep your phone in your back pocket. You go, I don't have a cell phone, because what happens is then we see kids out in the hallways and they're on their cell phones, or we find them in the bathrooms on their cell phones. Why that's a problem? Because a lot of drama starts from the cell phones, guys. A lot of drama, you know. And we want to eliminate that. You know, the students that are here, your job is school. Focus on school. So we want to help you with that. No cell phones walking the halls. No cell phones in the bathroom. They stay in the cell motel. Now, let's say I leave Miss Mercier's class. I grab my cell phone. I keep it in my pocket or my hand. Not use it when I'm walking. If you see you with it, you will take it. Then we have there's investigations when we deal with that to the point where we're actually making use of the privilege of the phone. The parents will have to come pick up those phones. So we want to teach you guys. So we'll give them a warning. You know, I'm not thinking about it, but you know, after the first one to school, I really got this. This is middle school. I treat these kids like young men and young ladies. So cell phone, take it, go to your next class, boom, it goes right back in the cell phone to the next classroom. So as you travel, if you go to the bathroom, you don't take that cell phone. You cannot tell your teacher, I don't have a cell phone, man. And then we see you 5 minutes later underneath the desk on your cell phone. That's not going to be good, okay? But you are able to use your cell phones during lunch. So we are passionate people up here. So we will let you students use your cell phones during lunch. All right, but once lunch is over, and we're going to go over this with the kids again. Once lunch is over, boom, put them back in your pocket, go to your next class, same thing. But parents, we really need your help. I was shocked. I'm old, but I was able to survive school without a cell phone, but they had things that are going on now. But parents, please, don't text your students during class. If you need to get a hold of your student, call the office and be happy to get a hold of you. We really don't need your support on this, so please let your students know. Don't text. Don't text. If your student needs to use their phone, if there's an emergency, you know, and they need to get a hold of you, ask the teacher, come down to the office. We'll be happy to let you use your cell phone if you need to, or use our school phone. Please don't use them during class. Please don't text your angels during school. You can text them during lunch, but again, if you need to get a hold of them, they'll call the school. We'll get them for you. We'll be happy. We do that all the time. Be on time. Tardies is a big thing with us. So we started this last year and made a big difference. 3 times tardy, unexcused, is a detention. It's either going to be a lunch detention or an after-school detention. So every 3 times you're tardy is another detention. Okay, so we want to avoid that. Something new, and you can thank Mr. Stein for this one. We're going to start Saturday school. So, breakfast club. Those of you. Let me tell you about the rule. So, in full disclosure, last year our suspension rate was pretty high. I mean, it wasn't just our school. Suspension rates were very high throughout the country. That's not good. Our jobs are not to put kids out of school. Our jobs, and I told this to kids all the time last year, our job is to keep you in school. We don't want you going home. Okay, now, some egregious, obviously, that's going to be suspension. So, in lieu of that, we're going to do Saturday school. So, again, it depends on, right now, we're working on the matrix, what that's going to look like, who would get a Saturday school. But to kind of knock out, we also do not have in-school suspensions, which is something I used to use in other districts. But again, we're trying to move away from that punitive punishments, and we really are going to work hard with you guys. If we have a problem with your student, we're going to call you up, and we're going to come in and talk about it. So again, we're going to need your support on that. We do not want kids out of school. Okay? So one option is going to be moving forward is going to be that Saturday school. Times will be determined. Right now, we're getting somewhere around 8 to 10, 8 to 11. You know, we'll get that figured out. We're also going to see, because I know some parents, transportation could be a barrier. So we're going to talk about transportation, see if we could possibly provide that on Saturdays. I don't know. We're going to look into that. So our parents do a really great job. When I started, it was kind of a hot mess. Drop off and pick up. Thank you, parents that were here. You guys were great. We have a traffic pattern for you to follow. And the first week of school, I know it's going to go the wrong way, but hopefully we'll help you out. But essentially, you pull in the parking lot, come back around, and then drop off and come out. We do not want anyone to drop off their students in front of the school. So in the morning, please don't pull up and drop off your kid. You block traffic, and it becomes dangerous for the kids from crossing. So please, please. And again, our parents are great at that. I mean, the first week of school, we had a few parents that weren't really aware of it, and we fixed it, and our parents do a great job with that. So there'll be a traffic pattern you follow. Dismissal, again, just so you don't know, house one, you're in the back of the building by Pleasant Street. So parent pickup will go out the back doors. So if you're picking up your student from house one, the buses line up right behind our school. Don't park back by those roads because you block the buses, want to make you move. But the church is always a great place to have your kids walk and meet you there as well. You can also, so if you have a kid in house one and a kid in house two, of course, your kids can come to one central spot. So wherever you want that to be, just let your kids know. I'll pick you up in front of the school, and I'll pick you up in the back, but they can go. You don't have to worry about driving to two locations. The other thing we ask, if you're picking your kids up out front, please don't park in that road up front here, because again, it's very dangerous. When kids are trying to cross, cars can't see coming around, so we don't want you to pull up and wait in front of the school. We ask you to park in the parking lot. And last year we had to fix this. Cars would line up, like just in a line, kind of like parent drop-off. And it was causing a backup because, of course, you're first in line, but your kid's the last one out of the building, and now you got 7 cars behind you waiting to get out. We're probably saying mean things about you. So what we ask is find a parking spot, and then as soon as your kid, comes, gets in the car, we'll get you out of here, okay? Just don't line up as you block people. Lockers, every student has a locker. So on your schedule, if you got your schedule, you'll see your locker number. It is right outside your homeroom. And we have locks available to rent. If you're new to our school, I have to tell you, we do not want you bringing your own lock from home. The reason being is if we need to get your locker for some reason, we're going to cut it if you bring one from home. So we'll let you rent one, $5 to rent. We give you the money back at the end of the year. So we'll let you rent it, and we don't go in your lockers, again, in case of some kind of emergency. We highly, highly recommend that you rent a lock from us, though, just to keep stuff secure. The other things I will say to students, please do not share your lockers with anybody. That could be a problem. Say there is contraband your friend puts in your locker, guess who's responsible for it? It's in your locker, all right? So please don't share lockers, okay? The other thing, as I said earlier, if you have questions regarding the schedule, please contact us on our house. I put our email up there. That's where you get a hold of any of us is through our emails. Mr. Stein is the one you want to talk to. He's our athletic director here down in the middle school. Questions about our sports or clubs, that would be Mr. Stein. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. So, really the main thing we want to talk about tonight is this. And I hope you'll like the graphics. I put those on myself. I learned from Ms. Palmer House. PBIS, Mr. Stein touched on that a little bit. Again, we do not want punitive consequences for our kids. We prefer positive interventions for our students. Okay? So this year, we really going to make a strong push for PBIS. We're really lucky to get a grant. We have 3 PBIS leaders in our building. They're headed by Mr. Stein. There's 1 PBS leader per house. And that's going to be a big deal for us. I don't know if you saw us on the news. I got in trouble for Halloween wars we did last year. But we like to do crazy stuff and compete against the houses. That's why we made the houses, everybody. So the point of the houses was to create this friendly competition. And also, you can address the needs of 120 students, 150 students easier than the needs of 520 students. So each house might have different needs. And they could do that in their house meetings and during PBIS. So PBS is huge for us. Parents out there, we need your help with this. So not only do we need your help in supporting this, but we would love to have you on our PBS committee. If you're interested in being part of that, Mr. Stein is the one you want to talk to about that. We've been meeting 3 or 4 times this summer to get our plan set. We'll be back here tomorrow at 7 a.m. To continue that plan as we get ready to roll it out the first day of school and make sure the staff is aware of it. But we prefer positive interventions, not punitive consequences. So again, we need your support on that. Not to say that there won't be consequences, but this is the way we want to go. One thing I put on there so you all know, just to show everybody that we're not just saying to the staff, hey, you guys got to do this, and we'll be up in the office, call us if you need anything. We're part of this too. If you knew, last year we really had a great speaker come in, Ryan Williams, for our kindness carnival. We're going to try to get him back. He owes us, I don't know if you know, but he's a karate guy as well. He did a great job. We posted the video if you want to see it. But he also breaks bricks. And depending on how many acts of kindness you do, he'll break that many bricks. So he owes us about 10 in a row. And so I told him he comes back this year, he owes us 10 bricks. He's going to break them. We tried to do it last year, but I told people I was out of the bricks. But so we're going to do the admin will be pulling your angels once a month. So each house, we will meet with the students. And during those monthly meetings with the house, we're going to be showing motivational videos. We have a saying around here today, it's Monday, TGIM. So we're showing our motivational videos. We'll talk to the kids about what's going on in school. It's a great way for us to really know the kids and make connections with them too. Because again, it's all about relationships, as you know. So it's a great way for us to build those positive relationships with the kids. So when we meet with the kids, we're going to be working on those positive relationships, with the questions and answers. We're really excited about it. That'll take place during week. So we'll have your kids once a month for 45 minutes. Maybe more, but once a month for sure we meet with your kids. In addition to that, the houses are going to have monthly meetings as well to go over things that are going on. So what happens in the past, and I'm sorry I talk fast, I've had 8 cups of coffee, but what we saw happen in the past is we were waiting to react. So now we're going to be much more proactive. So we can address issues before they come up. If we see something's coming on, we can have these PBS meetings and we can talk about it. Also, these monthly meetings are going to be discussed rewards. This Cody, this Cody, she was a house leader last year. They did all kinds of cool stuff every month to give out rewards to the kids. The kids love it. So we're going to do much more of that. Again, we need your help with that. Some things we're talking about. So they get 8th grade, what they want, mostly free time. Time and a half with the kids. But they make up on, she had all kinds of stuff. She got like snacks and stuff they can buy. So they range. We have a price for each one. But they buy different things. So we'll range computer time, it could be candy, snacks, but not those kind of drinks, but the Gatorade and things like that. They would go outside and play games. Tug of war was a big one, so it was really cool. All kinds of stuff. Our hope is that moving forward, that we're going to do monthly PBIS events. The key to PBIS, everyone, is to have really cool stuff that the kids want to get. So if we're handing out Smencils, maybe I know a lot of you guys like Smencils. but it doesn't work for everybody. It's not really cool reward to work hard for. So, you know, dances, monthly dances, ice cream socials. We've already talked to the community center about going down there and doing stuff down there. So we really want to do some cool stuff for the kids. I used it in Springfield. Let me tell you, it was a middle school in Springfield, and it worked great. And if you work in Springfield, Springfield's a tough district, and the kids were great. So I know we'll be here. Okay, I think that's everything. Shared responsibility, that is, get the theme here, it's all about us being together. We really need to be a community here, not just a school. We're going to reach out to parents a lot. And our goal is, and what we tell our staff is, please don't wait till there's a problem with the student to reach out to the parents. I know when I was teaching, that was a big thing for us. If I'm only calling you because your son or daughter is misbehaving, you're probably not going to like me too much, and you're probably not going to take my phone call. We really want to get in touch with you guys. I was doing this last year, but honest to God, I highlighted my dad's rough days. Every time I had a rough day, so selfishly, I would go back to my office and make 5 different phone calls to 5 kids who did a great job. And it made my whole day. I had parents crying on the phone. Because like, no one's ever called me to say something nice about my kid. I feel about 8 grades. No one's ever called me to say something nice about my kid. That's the kind of stuff we love to do. So, but we need your help here. Volunteer. Our male model is wearing our Parent Army shirt. We made these 2 years ago for our Parent Army. So 2 years ago, we had an awesome Parent Army. We had probably 50, 60 people in here. And they were awesome. Last year, I think parents said, they don't need us anymore. And they kind of dropped off. Yes, we need you. Please reach out to any of us. And we'll put you on our Parent Army list. Anything. Come to the building. Help in the hallways. Come to the cafeteria. We had a couple of really great parents last year that would come in and just watch the bathrooms for us. Anything you can do to help us out, we appreciate it. We have some events coming up. I think I don't know if you know Melissa Walker, our Director of Finance, and Miss McKinstry. I drive them crazy because we always come up with outlandish things to do here in the school. But we need your help with this kind of stuff. So please volunteer as much as you can. We want you to be part of our school. We're changing the culture here, everybody. We have 10 new hires coming into our building. These are changing. School's not going to be like it was when we were. It's different now. And we need your help to do that. We can't stress that enough. So open communication. Reach out to us. Any of us. Call us anytime. Email's better. We'll call you back because we run around a little bit. But send us an email. We'll get back to you. Come in and meet with us. We love meeting with parents. Love meeting with parents. And it doesn't, if you have, I can't, let me say one other thing. Social media, Facebook, for the love of God. If you have a question or you don't understand something, I always tell parents, instead of going on Facebook and complaining about it and telling everybody, this is rotten school, just ask us. Because a lot of times you may not know, or what I've seen happen, not this has ever happened here, but in other districts, I've seen parents go on and they put something on there that's not true, but then you got 7 other people piling on, and it's not even true. Just reach out to us. We'll be happy to talk to you about anything at all, even if it's a tough conversation. So I just ask, please, that you reach out to us first before you put something on Facebook, just so we can give you the answer you need. Okay? Because when you put it on, I don't go on Facebook. So if you put it on Facebook, I'm not going to see it. I'm not going to respond to anything on Facebook. I'm not going to get dragged into that. So if you need a question answered or if you want something from us, just reach out to us. We have to talk to you. Okay? So that open communication is crucial for us. Unified approach between the home and the school. Again, this goes beyond the school. We had meetings all day today. We were at central office till 3 o'clock today, meetings since 8 o'clock, talking about how important this is, and how when your child leaves here at 2 o'clock, we don't just write it off. Well, Johnny's home, it's 3 o'clock. Stuff happens, so we got to be involved with that, but we can't do that without your house. Please, if something's going on, let us know about it. But in the school, out of the school, we got to work together on this. Okay? Every great school, and I've been in some great schools, it's a no-brainer. First thing every great school has is a great parent relationship. ask questions and talk to your child about their day. I know, I hate to tell parents how to parent, but if you have kids like I have 3 kids, my 2 daughters are angels, my son, not so much. I love it, I say that. But my son would come home after school and I'd be like, how'd it go today? He's like, yeah, it's fine. And then he'd go play video games or go to football practice. My girls tell me all about it. But, you know, then I found out there's some things going on at school. These kids so jammed up a little bit. I didn't know about it. Here I am, a principal, and I'm finding out that, you know, my son is not doing so well. In fact, my son, and this is why I have a special place in my heart for kids who struggle in school. I found out that my son had a special seat in the hallway outside of his classrooms because the teachers didn't like him because he disrupted the class. So instead of trying to find out what was going on, their solution was to put him in a chair outside in the hallway. And I didn't know about that until about 3 years later. We're out to dinner, and I was bawling like a baby because I felt so bad that he went through this during middle school. I had no idea. No idea. So please talk to your kids about what's going on. Don't let them say to you, nah, nothing, fine. You know, ask them some questions, man. What'd you learn in math class? What did Mr. Stein say to you today? You know, ask them questions, please, because you guys will know. If there's something going on with your kid, let us know about it. You know, middle school's tough, man, really tough. You got the hormones going, friend groups, 6th graders, you're in a brand new school, you're mixed up with everybody else. It's really tough at first. So please let us know. If there's something going on with your child, we need to know about it. Okay? But ask those questions, man. You don't want to feel bad like I did 3 years later. Encourage your child. So our goal in our building is to have 100% of our kids involved with some kind of extracurricular activity. Sports is big in this town. We know that. I love sports myself. However, I also love drama and the theater and the band, even though I have no talent whatsoever. So please, we have clubs for anything you can imagine. And if there's something that your child wants to do, we don't have a club for it. See Mr. Stein, see Ms. Palmerhouse, because we get an advisor. We started 3 new clubs last year. One of them, which we're really proud of, Mr. Stein and myself, it was the Student Advisory Club, which were the group of kids who did not have a voice in our school that now have a voice in our school. So StuCo, those kids are always going to have a voice. They're always involved. We want to get the kids who don't get involved. We want you part of our school. We want you to be part of everything. How many kids did you say we have? We just talked about this today. Signed up for sports.
For sports, right now we have 90 students signed up for sports. And the sports we offer, boys and girls soccer, field hockey, 8th grade football, okay, and then we have middle school students that play up at the high school. 8th graders will play, you know, they'll have an opportunity to try out for their soccer teams, their field hockey team, and golf as well. But right now, 90 students signed up.
That's just
awesome. That's just sports. Wait till the clubs blow up. And like I said, we over half the. Last year we had about 60% of our students, maybe a little bit more, that were involved in after-school extracurricular activities. You know, that's where the relationships are formed. That's where the students get to see the adults doing things that they also love to do. Another side of them. It's not reading, writing, math, things of that nature. You're having fun, you're outside, physical activity, you're exercising your mind, you're exercising your body, okay? So that's where everything really comes to fruition. And that's what we want our kids to be doing. Spending time with the adults, the coaches, after school. That's where the changes are made. Really. I firmly believe that. I would not be standing in front of you all today without the coaches and the mentors that I had at this age. Really. It's very important. So we encourage the kids all day long to get involved after school. So, like Mr. DiOrio said, it's a shared responsibility at home. We would hope that you guys are giving them the same advice as we are. It's really, really important. So please, 90 kids is a lot. The registration is closed on Family ID. Okay, but that does not mean that you still can't get your kid registered. I coach 8th grade football here. I'll probably snag another 5 to 6 kids on that list. That'll put us over 30 students playing 8th grade football. There are no cuts for the most part. There may be a tryout. I can tell you this, that our girls soccer program right now in the middle signed up for that. Okay? That's a lot of kids for a girls' soccer team. So with that being said, that team may have cuts this fall. We don't have enough shirts, we don't have enough uniforms, that's too many. I mean, you have 11 kids on the field in soccer. 35 is a little bit too many. And you have 3 8th grade girls that are on the varsity or JV roster. They will have tryouts. If they do not make those teams up there, then they will come back down. That's what it's all about, building a program. Normally, the athletic director has to fill out the waivers because those older teams don't have numbers up there. So they take our older girls or boys. But now the programs are getting bigger to where some of our middle school teams will be able to keep those 8th grade students. Because in middle school, having 8th graders on your teams, that really makes a difference. It really does. So hopefully the numbers are getting more. We'll be able to keep some of our older kids on our teams so the competition is much better, right? Sometimes when we're showing up with just our 6th and 7th graders and the other teams have all 8th graders, it's a little unfair, right? That'll make it in a kid's mind, I don't really like that experience. I got whooped. Might not want to play that game anymore. So things are changing. We're getting more kids involved. We want more kids involved, so please, let's get them involved after school. Just not sports. Like I said, we've got a million clubs here.
Yeah.
And if your student is interested in the club and we don't offer it, come talk to Mr. DiOrio, myself, Ms. Palmer House. We'll have him write up a description. We'll get a faculty advisor to lead that club. I've never seen this man say no to any kid that wants to have a club.
And if you see on the board, so sports is huge, but as Mr. Stein said, we have 90 to 100 kids playing sports, but we also have over 100 kids that don't play sports and that are part of these clubs. So this year we're really excited. One club we're going to start that's new. It's our Unified Sports Club. That'll be geared towards, that'll be regular education students along with our special education students. We do this up in the high school. We're going to start doing it here. And then we're going to talk to some of my colleagues in other districts and see if we can get some friendly competition going. But if you're not familiar with Unified Sports, the regular and the special ed kids work together. Everybody has a goal. It's really great. Please, a million things for you guys to be involved with. Encourage your kids to be part of that. Again, we really want to be part of the Northbridge School.
Just speak up and let somebody know, and then we'll make it happen.
First day of school. So we're all excited to get started, as you can tell. Staff's excited to get started. They've been in here a lot this summer. 6th graders, and I'm going to put this out again, and we'll let kids know too. 6th grade, the homeroom teachers, you're going to come right here in the auditorium. And the homeroom teachers come here and they'll pick the kids up in the auditorium. So when we line up outside for parent drop-off, Mr. Stein is going to line up the kids. Usually I'm out front directing traffic and saying hi to everybody. Ms. Palmer House is on the buses, greeting the kids from the buses. And then Mr. Stein lets them in the side door or walkers, because all walkers come in the front. It's different than dismissal. What we want to do is line kids up by grade. We're going to try to be very organized as we move forward this year. So we're going to line the kids up by grade so we don't have a herd of kids coming in at once. 6th grade, that first day, it's going to come right here in the auditorium. And then the homeroom teachers will have their rosters. We're going to talk to the kids for a little bit. And then they'll go with their homeroom teachers right back up to their room. So if you're a 6th grader in here, you're going to come here and we'll remind the kids as we get closer as well. 6th grade is going to start here. 7th and 8th grade, they're veterans. They know where to go. They'll go right to their homerooms at that time. Breakfast. So we do have breakfast available. We open the doors at 7:20. At that time, you come in and go right down to the cafeteria. So you can get breakfast at that time. And then the bell rings at 7:35 to go back to class, to get up to class. You're supposed to be in class by 7:40. We showed you before. So we give you 5 minutes to get up to class. But most of our kids are done before that. We don't want you hanging around in there. Get breakfast and you go right up to class. And then the first couple weeks of school, we're going to be spending a lot of time on expectations and making sure that our students know what the expectations are. We lost so much learning, and kids really, and it's no fault of anybody's, but because of COVID, you walk into the classroom now, honestly, students don't know what it's like anymore to raise your hand, how to wait to be called on, how to work in groups. we're trying to get that back. So we're going to take a little, I don't want to say step back, but we're going to have a strong focus on going back to the SEL needs of our kids is, what does it look like in the classroom again? What does it mean to be a student? What does that mean? Okay, and so we're going to really focus on that first week or two of school. As we know, if kids don't feel safe in the classroom, if kids don't know what those expectations are, there's really no significant learning going on. So we're going to make a strong push on that, make sure that students understand what's going on. How do you walk in the hallways? How do you sit in the cafeteria? All these things now we're going to go back and focus on for our students. Houses are going to have time, they're going to come to the auditorium, so each house, Ms. Palmer House set up a schedule for that. Each house will come into the auditorium at a different time, and all the teachers are going to talk to the kids. At that time, they're going to work with the students. Again, that shared responsibility. Students will have input into the expectations and behaviors that we expect to see during the school day. So they're going to create that list with the students. They're going to stay in homeroom during the first 3 weeks of WIN. The first week of school, we only have 2 days, as you know. But the reason for that is we need data to group our students. Because kids who need extra support in math or ELA, we're going to take a couple weeks to find out who those kids are. If your student needs extra support, they will have that in week 3. And then during WIN, they will get that extra support for ELA or math specific. Also WIN, just so you know, we have that reading and writing push. What it's going to look like is every 6 weeks, as Ms. Palmer House likes to say, we rotate to the right or left?
To the right.
We rotate to the right. So what that means is Ms. Palmer House already created. What do those classes look like? Okay? So maybe I go to Ms. McNeil for my first WIN group of 6 weeks. After 6 weeks, then I go swing right. I'm going to go to Ms. whoever that could be. Maybe it's Ms. Mercier. And so after 6 weeks, I go from Ms. McNeil to Ms. Mercier. Now, what happens now? Ms. McNeil, if you don't know, is one of our extraordinary social studies teachers. Reading and writing focused around social studies. And we're not really saying standards, we're saying topics. Okay? So the students will be reading and writing and researching social studies topics. Now, after 6 weeks, I go to Ms. Mercier, who's our science teacher. Guess what? Reading and writing around science. Okay? So every time they rotate to the group, it's reading and writing focus, but it's around those topics and that content. Okay? So again, we get some extra support there. After week 3, though, we'll start that. At any time, though, during the WIN cycle, if you were a student like me, I struggled in school. So let's say after that first 6 weeks, we pull it down and we say, hey, Mr. Muir is really struggling in ELA. He's going to need extra support. So then for that next 6 weeks, I might go to Ms. Hickey's class for WIN because I'm going to get extra reading and writing support from an ELA teacher. Or I might get extra math support. All right? So that program is fluid. We did it on purpose. We don't want kids, if you have to go to extra support, you're not stuck there forever. Just until we get you to close that gap, and bam, you're right back out. And again, we go into a new standard, and I'm struggling. My gaps, especially in math. I wasn't a math teacher, but math, different topics. Kids can struggle at different times. You might need extra support during the year. Fluid, in and out. Teachers, again, this is the first couple days of school. Teachers are going to take students to the cafeteria, auditorium, hallways, and they're going to model those expectations. I know it seems silly, but just telling our students, hey, you got to stay on the right. Don't block the hallways. Don't yell. Don't throw stuff. We're going to go over all that stuff. I think I put on here, when we go to the cafeteria for the first, I don't know how long, 3 weeks to a month, students will be sitting with their homework. The reason is we have to make sure we have order in that cafeteria. So for the first couple weeks, students will come down and sit with their homeroom. Okay? And then after that, again, we start getting more and more responsibility as they earn it, and then they'll be able to switch off and sit with different people. But we want to make sure, again, we really build that culture. Cafeterias where things can get out of control, and we want to make sure the kids are safe in that cafeteria. All staff is going to discuss expected behaviors at school. I talked about that a little bit. Even raising hands, how to work collaboratively, how to be respectful, walking quickly and quietly in hallways, and elementary behavior. Again, that's all stuff that we have to go back and reteach and make sure our kids, and again, nobody's fault. Okay? But we want to make sure we're good at that. All right, upcoming events, I told you to do some crazy stuff. I was in the office talking to Ms. Tarhouse and Mr. Stein, and I'm like, we need to get out there and talk. We got to talk to the parents outside of school. Because what I've learned is we usually get the same group of parents that come in, but then how do we reach those parents who maybe haven't made it into school, maybe when they were a kid, they didn't have a good experience. For whatever reason, they don't like to come into the building, so we need to get out. And plus, we want to see the kids. So we're doing an ice cream tour Saturday, August 27th. I told you we'd come up with crazy stuff. Originally, we were going to rent a Home Depot truck, a flatbed truck, throw a couple hay bales. Mr. Stein were going to sit in the back with a speaker, and I was going to drive down the road handing out. And then the superintendent didn't think that was a good idea. Liability reasons.
I didn't think it was a good idea. I thought we'd get arrested.
So then we thought, so we went back to the drawing board, and we said, hey, I don't know, let's just get an ice cream truck. Well, why not? We'll get an ice cream truck, we'll drive in the neighborhoods and give ice cream to our kids. Well, then that became, if we roll into the neighborhoods with an ice cream truck, we go get those little kids that come to that ice cream truck. I have a budget I work with, I got a pretty nice budget, I don't have that much money. So we had to take that idea because, we're not going to turn a kid away. We turn you parents away, but not the kids. So we're like, we can't do that. Now we're on our third plan. We're going to get the school van. And so we're going to decorate it, and we are going to have a big speaker playing music, and we're going to roll into neighborhoods, because we're going to come into your neighborhoods. We're just going to roll in. I'll announce the times of when we're going to be in our neighborhood near you. And we're not going to do little highways and all things, but it'll be more popsicle stuff. Popsicles, bomb pops, and grease pops. And that way, I have enough money to cover that, so we don't have to turn anybody away. Parents can come and get a popsicle to the farm. So we're going to come around, but we feel that's important to show you that we care and that we don't just sit in school and wait for you to come to us. So we're coming out. We're going to come out again. Other times, Mr. Stein's will have to cook, and we'll come out with a grill. But that's the first thing we're going to do. The second thing we have coming up is we did this last year, our family fun run, and it was awesome. We kind of put it together quick. Again, thanks to the parents who were there, part of that. But that fun run was a blast, man. I tried to do a color run. I don't know if you know what a color run is. That was awesome. That's a lot of fun. And then Mr. Stein said, hey, you might want to talk to the city about that, blowing all that colored dust all over the roads and stuff. So that got mixed. So now we're back to the regular family fun run. So what we do is we put out here. We started on details about that, but we have so much fun. We're going to keep it up and notch this year. So we start in the morning. You can walk, run, get people with strollers, pushing babies. It's a 5K. We start here. We go down to, I forget the name of that.
Was it
China
Palace
Pacific.
down there?
China Pacific.
China Pacific.
Kind of sick, thank you. We come back, we go a lap around the high school, and then we finish with a lap on our track. It's a 5K, 3.2 miles. The last lap we do, we have the music blaring on our brand new stadium over there, and everyone's cheering and clapping. And the final lap is a lap around our stadium. And then afterwards, we had a raffle, we had prizes, we had food. It was a ton of fun. So again, I'm going to say to families, we need your help with this though. So give me plenty of notice. Please get involved with that. It's a lot of fun. It'll also be a nice fundraiser for our school. So we do things, so I'll keep you up to date on that, but I want to make sure you knew about it. We also did a really cool screen we bought last year. It's this big inflatable globe screen. We may do some outdoor movies with it. It's awesome. Last year we showed a movie in theater with it. Hocus Pocus, right?
Yeah.
Hocus Pocus. The first one. And we had a blast. We had a lot of kids come in here and stuff. Hocus Pocus 2, we don't know, is coming out. So we're going to get Hocus Pocus 2. So sometime around Halloween, we're going to do that movie again. We have popcorn and stuff. The kids, I think Mr. Stein gets help with that. Again, it's a fundraiser for different groups, so I'll come to you about that as well for your support on that. I threw up two things on here that are important. Really, really excited. Last year, when I came to this building, I was shocked that we didn't have a National Junior Honor Society here, so we started that last year. And we're going to continue that, obviously. So I put some information up here. You'll get more But just so you're aware of it, Ms. Willow is our advisor for that, and so she gave me a word to let everybody know. National Junior Honor Society is the third Monday of the month. If you're a current member, you do not need to reapply. However, anyone new is going to need to apply. And applications to do that in December. And if you've never seen the induction ceremony, it is really cool. With the candles, if you've never seen that before, it's really cool. Turn the lights off, you have candles, the kids come up, it's this whole big thing. And so that takes place in February. Look on our website, we'll keep requirements and procedures and information. I also put this woman's email on there. Again, this will, you can get her email. I post this on our website if you have questions about that. Student council, we call it StuCo here. Student council, they meet the first Monday of the month. Now, if you're already a member of StuCo, you do need to reapply every year for StuCo. Again, that's Ms. Wormuth and Ms. Jonkis on that. And so it's open to kids from grades 6 through 8. Applications available 9/6 through 9/16. Again, the link's going to be up there for you on the website, and I put both the emails for you. Please watch for that, because for both of those groups now, because they are hardest groups, there is some work that kids have to do. We have to write an essay, things like that. So make sure we don't want you to miss the application on that. We're winding down, so we know those. All right, Mr. Stein touched on this. Sports fees, again, it's $150 here in the middle school. Our clubs are $25, but there is a max of $50. So you can join 6 clubs if you want. You won't have to pay more than $50. Cap at $50. I do want to say though, please, please don't let money stop your child from being part of any of these groups. We do have financial aid available, so reach out to any of us. If you need financial aid, please don't hesitate to ask us about that, because we sure don't want anyone to miss out on this due to money. So we always put aside funds, and any student that needs those funds, we do not want that to be a barrier. The other thing we did is, we have grant money called S money. The reason I mention that is we get busing available. Yeah, I know a lot of parents work. So if your son or daughter wants to be part of the club, they're on the way home, we will have busing available as well. And so please, all the transportation or money, stop being part of this. Flag football starting pretty soon. Drama, and again, it's up there. You can tell I'm excited about that. And the family ID, Mr. Stein talked about, the results are on the webpage. So if you go to our webpage right now, you'll find it on there. If you can't find it, reach out to us and we'll help you fix that.
You can do everything on Family ID too. You can pay for it. You know, you can upload physicals if needed for sports. Everything is very user-friendly on Family ID. Go to the main website, the Northbridge Public Schools website. It's right there. And as soon as you find the Family ID, the very first thing at the top of the page, if you're getting into a sport, register here. Click that button. Boom, you're all set. The uniforms for field hockey. I don't know if you do.
Well, they were high school last year.
Yeah, that's how it operates here. They hand them down, whatever shoes.
Or a fundraiser, because a lot of.
Absolutely.